Yorkshire could not have made a worse start to the second ever LV game of the week against Middlesex. Jack Leaning falling LBW to Toby Roland Jones to the very first ball of the morning. The batsman going for 20 with his side on 96 for 5 in reply to Middlesex's 212 all out. The third ball of the morning brought another wicket. Glenn Maxwell failing for the third time in 3 innings as a Yorkshire player in the Championship. Roland Jones started the day magnificently as the Australian nicked a rather wild drive behind to put the visitors on top in a match between the only 2 undefeated teams in the First Division. Thankfully for the champions, Jonny Bairstow was still there. He resumed his knock on 25 and kept the innings going as he moved up to 49 in adding 35 runs for the 7th wicket with Will Rhodes, who was out for 11 when he nicked off to Tim Murtagh with a total on 131 for 7. Middlesex now looking in a very good place to earn themselves an unlikely first innings lead. Not often over the last couple of summers have Yorkshire found themselves in such a position. Bairstow was now the key and he reached his latest 50 off his 89th delivery with this single off James Harris. Bairstow appears to be an afterthought as far as England are concerned right now, yet this half-century added to previous scores of 102, 59, 50 and 66 that he's made for his county since returning from the Caribbean, where he largely carried the drinks. He lost Tim Bresnan at the other end for just 4, Harris finding the edge, which was held by Ollie Rayner, who's had a good game in the slip so far. Middlesex were still on top, with Yorkshire now at 142 for 8 and trailing by 70. Roland Jones then returned to the attack after lunch to bowl Stephen Patterson for a dozen, and a first innings lead looked very likely for the visitors as last man Jack Brooks came out to join Bairstow, who was on 69 out of a total of 170 for 9. Brooks now blocked one end while Bairstow attacked at the other. He took 11 runs off a Roland Jones over, including this huge 6. The keeper also doing well to keep hold of the strike for as much as possible. He closed in on his 2nd century of the summer and the 13th of his first-class career by clearing the rope again off Roland Jones, a shot which also brought up his side's 200. And then a guided boundary off Harris took the 25-year-old to a brilliant ton, one which had come off 161 balls and included 9 4s and 2 6s. His passionate appreciation of his own innings and his looks to the heavens was in respect to his grandfather, who died last week. Twitter started to twitch, with many wondering why Bairstow is even playing in this game instead of preparing for the one-day series with New Zealand, which begins on Tuesday in Birmingham. This was an exceptional knock. And he wasn't done yet. By now he'd moved into his own one-day mode as he went after Rayner to take his side into the lead, something which looked a long way off when he was joined by Brooks, who stuck with his partner for 55 minutes to frustrate the visiting attack no end. Out of the last wicket partnership of 59, Brooks contributed just 6 before he edged Rayner behind as Yorkshire were all out for 229 to earn a lead of 17. The brilliant Bairstow ending unbeaten on 125. The next best score in the innings being the 20 made by Leaning, which emphasised just how good and how important this innings was. England's loss was certainly Yorkshire's gain. Thanks almost exclusively to Bairstow, the momentum was now with the home side, although, given that this pitch is expected to worsen as this match moves on under the sunshine in Leeds, Middlesex won't have minded such a small deficit, one which was soon knocked off by Sam Robson and Joe Burns. Often in their championship winning summer last year, this was the moment that Yorkshire suddenly grabbed the initiative, and these 2 batsmen with international experience had to be at their best to forge a decent partnership, which was to bring up 51 runs. Brooks, the hero of the first innings with the ball, delivered only 4 overs with the new ball this time and was brought back on in the 18th over in the evening session to strike twice in 2 balls. First, he had Burns held in the slips by Adam Lyth, who must have enjoyed being back amongst his mates after his time in the outfield with England. Next ball, and Brooks got the big wicket of Nick Compton, who didn't add a run to his first innings 70, falling LBW for a golden duck this time to give the bowler his 7th wicket of the match and his 27th of this championship season. If he keeps going, he will have run a marathon just in his celebrations. Middlesex were in danger of losing their way when Robson was then trapped in front by Patterson for 34, with a total on 65 for 3 and the lead standing at only 48. Yorkshire would have been very happy with the way this day was panning out. Even more so when, just 7 runs later, Neil Dexter was another leg before victim, this time to Bresnan, as the batsman departed for a couple. With 19 overs left in the day, there was a chance that Yorkshire could even have themselves in a winning position by the close of play. But for the next hour and a quarter, Darvin Milan and James Franklin showed the kind of fight, application and determination which has seen the Londoners sit on top of the championship table for the last few weeks. Knowing that it was absolutely crucial that they kept their wickets intact for the remaining time, these two left-handers kept their natural attacking instincts at bay with just the occasional boundary, coming amongst a lot of stoic defending, which saw this pair survive and add 55 runs thus far for the 5th wicket.
Obviously under pretty difficult circumstances with the position that we got ourselves into. So yeah, delighted to gain parity and then go back ahead of them. Although it was 17, it could be 17 vital runs come the second innings that we have to chase. It's not been an easy couple of weeks, personally, family-wise as well. So that's things that have really come out today, and no, really pleased to score 100 for someone very special.
I think both sides, come off today. They know that they've bowled well at the start of our innings again and made it tough. And we've come off there with a pretty good partnership to finish the day 4 down. I don't think is too bad for us. And like you said, it makes tomorrow morning a very important session once more, really.
So, thanks to the overnight batsman, this game sits on a knife edge at the halfway stage. Picking a winner from here almost impossible, although a positive result one way or the other now seems a certainty. With Milan on 33 and Franklin on 26, Middlesex will go again on the 3rd morning on 127 for 4, and that has them 110 runs to the good.